ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and
DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, it's the Midday Market Report with Jeff Dawson.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. Yes, I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and it's that time for the Midday Market Report. Good friend and colleague, Mr. Nick Hathcoat. Go follow him at nhathcoat413 and Insiders FB, as he is on a heater, whether it's college football, MLB. Kid's been on fire. He's doing the work, which a lot of people on X and other social medias are not. So make sure you stay tuned and get locked in with Nick at Hathcoat413 and, of course, Insiders Football. First and foremost, a shout out to our proud sponsors and partnerships. It's WagerWire. Head on over to Google Play. Download the app. It is free. Travis, Zach, Guy, I think all in Las Vegas right now. Be safe, gentlemen. And, of course, Amber, Holly, Carol, Bucks, myself, Alan, the list is endless. Matt Chappell. Guys, just lock in, join the community, have a blast, and cash some tickets. And, of course, it's AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. Terry Smith, go follow him on Facebook. Come on back to AtlantaSteaksAndSeafood.com. Steaks, seafood, chops, appetizers, wine. Terry's got it all. Place an order today. You could be grilling as early as Monday. So without further ado, breathing a lot easier. That Irish offense. Holy shit, they just scored again in Arkansas. Nick Hathcoat. What's up, Nick?
Good morning, Jeff. How's it going?
Doing well. Congrats on the heater in college football. MLB, you're on fire. Your eyes are razor sharp. You're having fun, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about last week when I was on here about the heater I was on in college football. That kind of died down last week. There were some very frustrating losses that we talked about on here. One of them being the Alabama-Georgia over. There are 7 points scored in the whole second half of that game, and we missed it by 8. So it was just a frustrating week for college football. Luckily, postseason for MLB started this week. 15-1 in bets for MLB postseason plays this week. Just crazy. That's one of those things that doesn't happen. I'm not even sure how it happened. To be honest with you, it's just one of those. It's better to be lucky than good sometimes, as you know, in this industry, Jeff.
Speaking of Alabama, Georgia, we had Alabama team total over 25.5. They scored 24 in the first half.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that game was so frustrating.
Missed a field goal in the third quarter where I could have just set it and forget it and moved on. Very frustrating there. Talk about your Irish. We knew Arkansas couldn't stop a nosebleed, but we thought they'd move the ball well as, 13-10, 20-10. Next thing I know, 58-13. Arkansas fires the coach. Unlike last year, lose game 2 and then cheat. This year, lost 2 close games that you could have won.
Yep.
But this game against Arkansas, and then you got one more in November. The stage is set. You're going to be favored against every one of them. I'm not trying to put the cart before the horse here, but similar stage. But I think, keep doing what you're doing, cooking with Crisco, Jeremiah Love and company. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I hope so. I kind of saw that coming last week as I spoke on this show and said, like I said, take Notre Dame team total because they are going to put the pedal down on people, knowing what they have to do the rest of the year. I said play Notre Dame 4.5. I had the over in the full game. I didn't know Notre Dame was basically going to get there by themselves, but pretty much did almost in the first half. Yeah, it's one of the talent showed up last week, and it is one of those where it's like yes, Arkansas, big name SEC school, but it's not Notre Dame's talent. And that was kind of clear on the field quickly. Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price are ridiculous in the backfield. People can say what they want about the Penn State backfield with Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, but man, if you watch those Notre Dame backs, it's just different. Like both those guys should be playing in the NFL right now. Yeah, and you are spot on in saying everything is in front of them still, I believe. I think the worst thing that happened to them last week, no matter how bad they beat Arkansas, was Illinois beating USC. USC was supposed to be that kind of best team left on Notre Dame's schedule, and now losing to Illinois, they're unranked. They play next week, so it's one of those that's Notre Dame needs USC to be one of the top 4 or 5 teams in the Big Ten, I think, and that's still possible. Like if USC could run the table the rest of the way in the Big Ten, maybe lose one more, and still be kind of in a good place. Notre Dame would like them to be ranked. The way Boise has looked, they could be ranked. I mean, if Boise ends up only 2 losses to USF, who might end up being the Group of 5 team in the playoff, and then if they lose to Notre Dame this week, if they win out and go 10-2, or Boise State could possibly be ranked. So it's one of those things where like what's the committee going to look at the end of the year? Is Notre Dame 10-2 with maybe 1 or 2 ranked wins, depending on how Boise and USC play out? Their 2 losses are to – you look at Miami right now, I think it's not really arguable that Miami's probably the best and most well-rounded team in the country. And they lost by 3 and lost to Texas A&M because they couldn't hit an extra point. So it depends on what the committee is going to look at. I think this is going to be it. Like it's crazy, as you mentioned last year, how much this lines up in familiarity with their style points are going to matter. And like Notre Dame did last year, where it was they led the country in overall win expectancy and margin of victory, they might do the same thing this year. I'm going to expect them to put the pedal down on most teams and really try to run up the score when they can.
Well, I tried to talk to everyone because everyone remembers what they saw last in that Indiana freight train, that what they did to Illinois. It was the perfect storm for Illinois, West Coast traveling, Midwest, Illinois, egg on their face. I had Illinois on the desk here. I thought it was the perfect storm. Great bounce back. Just as much as I liked Illinois last week, I don't like them this week because I think it's, now they're 9.5 point favorites at Purdue. If you sent me 100 to bet on Illinois this week, I'd send you 200 back and tell you to take the bride out for lunch because no, not today, guys. But for Notre Dame, championship game last year, the following. I'll be at BC November 1st. Notre Dame comes to Chestnut Hill against BC. And I can't wait for that. We got 125, probably 150 tailgate tents and tables and chairs to set up. I'll probably have to sleep over there Friday night to get that ready before kickoff. But no, you're in a good spot. It's Notre Dame, Nick.
I know, yes, but they've also lost the right to where it's no longer up to just them. Because like we've said before, I'm assuming 4 or 5 SEC teams get in. So say A&M goes 10-2, A&M's going to get in over a 10-2 Notre Dame. If Tennessee is still in a great spot to go 10-2, they're going to get in over a 10-2 Notre Dame. So it's no longer just in Notre Dame's hands, which kind of hurts. All they do is win one of those 2 first games. So I still think I'll say it this way. I would put it 60-40 on them getting in versus them missing. But it's not, like I said, it depends on what the rest goes on in the rest of the country.
Big games everywhere last week. Just flip the switch. I'm going to go to the whiteout. Oregon, Penn State, kind of a grab-ass first half. Action picked up in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, we get to overtime. Egg on our face again. We had the Penn State team total over. We needed one more score from Aller and company. Ducks, big statement, though, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one that I told you I was staying off of because I didn't know what was going to happen. And it kind of played out. It was the most like random type thing. It seemed like Oregon had control, obviously, and then Penn State all of a sudden says, "Hey, let's just let our offense loose out of nowhere." It's like, why was this not the offense all game? But also, I get it because if you run that offense all game, you're putting Aller in situations where he can turn the ball over, and then overtime we saw that happen. The narrative is always going to be James Franklin, and I get it. Like, this is another game where it was, as we said, if not now with the roster he has, then when. And yeah, it's another loss that is very difficult if you're a Penn State fan, but still everything's in front of them. So they're 10-2. They're getting into the playoffs. They're still I just mentioned, they will be above Notre Dame. But what I came away with from this game was that everybody talked about the Oregon offense and how explosive, how awesome the receivers are. Obviously, Dante Moore is number one right now for the Heisman race. And the running backs are just crazy explosive. But nobody talked about the defense coming into this game. They shut Penn State's running game down. I think they ran for 78 yards with those two running backs. That's what impressed me. I think Oregon, if they're not, I'd still probably put them behind Ohio State because Ohio State's another team I was impressed with their win at Washington and just like putting the clamps on. Like that was a show and a statement. So I would probably say Oregon is the second best team in the country right now, and they proved that on the road, in the whiteout, at night. And a lot of questions with Dante Moore, like coming out with being, yes, he's in his third year of college, but hasn't really played in an environment like that and didn't make a mistake, handled himself, did everything the coaches wanted. So yeah, I would say Ohio State 1, Oregon 2, Penn State. It's just another year of how the roster seems so good, but where are the results?
I want to go back to Alabama, Georgia again. 24 in the first half. Let's go back in the Alabama resume. Just didn't show up, of course, at Florida State. Got waxed and every which way but loose. Play a couple cream puffs. Get the offense cooking with Crisco. Go between the hedges at Georgia. Got out early. I am so super impressed with their quarterback, Mr. Simpson there. I think he is spot on. They got probably the second best wide receiver in the country, other than, of course, over at Ohio State. In comes Diego this week. Revenge spot for Alabama. They're at home. Line opened at 13.5 for a reason in my eyes. It's down to 10.5. Listen, I got a lot of naysayers that are just jumping and salivating all over Vanderbilt and the points here. I no disrespect to Diego, no disrespect to Vanderbilt, but the Crimson Tide are a different beast at home. The only thing I'm a little nervous about is if they're locked in and engaged after that win between the hedges at Georgia last week.
Yeah, I don't think you have to be worried about that because of the humiliation they felt last year of losing to Vanderbilt. Losing at Vanderbilt for the first time in 28 years or 38 years, and then seeing them carry the goalpost, throwing it in the river in Nashville, that is not Alabama-like at all. I'm sure, and it's crazy to think that Alabama is the whole season or the whole offseason looking forward to the Vanderbilt game and not Georgia or not Tennessee or not Florida. But I honestly think it was them looking forward to this Vanderbilt game and saying, this is not happening again. So I do have a play in this one. I didn't take – I'm still a little bit worried about this Bama defense. I'm not totally convinced that it's great. There's none of that NFL talent that you normally see with this team. They did hold down Georgia a bit, but also you look at it, Georgia had 2 4-down conversions in the red zone they didn't hit. They had 2 turnovers when they were on their own side of the field. So like Georgia could have scored 35, 40 if they would have just not turned the ball over and or finished fourth downs. So I am actually playing the Bama team total is how I'm going after this one. I got it at 33.5 at plus 111. So I got it at plus money at 33.5. I absolutely love this because, like you said, I think this is total. They just want to get Bama back. And Pavia, well, like I actually do love Diego Pavia for the sport because he will not stop talking. It's great for us, like in the media, where it's like, dude, relax. And even this week, he said, as long as what he said, I think his quote was, as long as we play our game, this won't even be close and stuff. It's like, bro, careful what you ask for. And I don't think you're right. And I don't think it will be close because I do think Bama might blow them out. But like I said, I'm scared. Like I could see a backdoor here by Vandy getting within that 10. So I'm playing the Bama team total over 33.5 because I think they're going to try to put up as many points as possible.
Well, I'm going to pull up your in-pocket plays, as we call them,
Yep.
Nick's, as it's Nick's NCAAF Nuggets. There's a boatload here. Delaware minus 2.5.
Yep.
New Mexico team total over 27.5. Air Force team total over. Cincy minus 1.5. I love where your eyes are there. Parlay, Illinois money line, Texas money line. Penn State minus 25 and hook. We know Franklin knows the spread.
Yep.
We know everything. He will not take the foot off the gas there. Bama team total over 33.5. I love that. I love their team total over in the first half too, which we'll see probably later tonight. Akron team total under 17.5. Texas, Florida under 21.5. A lot of money overnight came in on Florida, which is interesting. And Oklahoma minus 45.5 there. Nick, walk us through your plays.
Yeah, just real quick. I mean, the Delaware one, I don't know. A lot of people coming into it, and me included, I was very high on this Delaware, like being the first year in FBS. Their defense came in, they're supposed to be very good, and it has been. The offense was what was unexpected. At home, I mean, they already beat UConn, which, as you know, up there, I'm not totally, like, UConn's not bad. Like, UConn's not good. I'm not going to say it that way, but UConn's not a bad team. UConn is better than Western Kentucky is. I will say that. Western Kentucky has been so up and down this year, and now they're on the road at Delaware. I expect this on a Friday night to actually be a fairly hostile environment. Like, this is going to feel like a huge, like, Friday night football game, like high school type football game. I really like Delaware here, minus 2.5. Some money lines are available, minus 140. Don't hate that either. I would just rather have a minus 2.5 where give me a field goal, give me a touchdown. Like it there. New Mexico, I also, which is tonight, little late night fun for the people who stay up late on Fridays. I took this team total, their last four games, 38, 35, 32, 30. San Jose State has given up 30, 38, 41 this year. Love this 27.5 here. I actually think New Mexico can upset San Jose State, so that's why I like their side of the team total more than San Jose State. I expect a shootout here. I wouldn't hate if someone wants to play the full game over, like with both teams combined. Don't hate that, but I think with New Mexico being the underdog, I think they were slightly kind of doubted on what their actual team total should be. Cincy, Iowa State, a lot of talk has come up this one. And I will say, so I took this one, I played this one on Sunday. I didn't realize the market and kind of us, I guess, professional bettors were going to be so much on the Cincinnati side. I wish it would, I wish it would be the other way, where I wish I'd be on the side of where so many more people were taking Iowa State, because me, like, all my numbers and everything points towards Cincinnati here. Brandon Sorsby has been awesome. Like the last 3 games, he has 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. They just ran and threw all over Kansas at Kansas last week. This is a under the radar, difficult place to play. Cincinnati is. Iowa State, when you look at them, like, yes, they're 5-0. Yes, they're ranked 14th. Look at who they beat. Kansas State, that win is getting worse and worse by the week. That team is expected to be like 2 wins under their team total. Arizona is bad. And then they played like 3 other like non-Power 4 teams. I think this Iowa State team's very overrated. their defense is good, but I don't think their offense can keep up with what Cincinnati has. So that's why I took Cincinnati here -1.5, as you mentioned. I think you're on the same side. I actually really, really do like that one. Some money lines are coming down too. I don't think this is going anywhere. So I would say to people, I wouldn't hate waiting until tomorrow. You might get a money line down to -115, -120. And you can play it that way as well if you don't like the -1.5. Like if you're scared of that kind of 1 point chance there. Air Force team total over. Yes, it's a Service Academy game, Air Force Navy. But if you've watched Air Force this year, they're throwing the ball. They're averaging almost 200 yards passing per game. Also, what I love is Air Force's defense is basically a middle school defense facing everybody. So I think Navy's going to score, and they might score quick. So Air Force is going to have the ball a lot. To get this under 20 is kind of crazy to me, considering the lowest point total they've had this season is what is it? They scored 30. They scored 30 against Utah State, and that's their lowest point total. And now you're giving me like under 20 points. This was an absolute hammer for me. So I absolutely love that. Texas, Florida, first half under. I don't even know how much I have to talk about this one. This one seems kind of self-explanatory. I don't trust either quarterback right now. DJ Lagway was in a walking boot the last 2 weeks. Yes, they had a bye week. They're also keeping things extremely secret about practice this week. I'm not even sure how much he practiced this week. They said he's starting. He's not on the injury report, but those injury reports are getting until they start finding these teams like they said they were going to do. I can't trust these injury reports. So you can't have somebody who's in a boot 1 week and also having shoulder issues, and now all of a sudden he's perfectly healthy. I don't think that's right at all. We've seen Arch Manning look great the last few weeks, but we also saw how he looked against Ohio State, which I would say Florida's defense is closer to Ohio State than it is Sam Houston's or anybody like that. So I think this is going to be an extremely I didn't want to play the full game under, because I do think this is a game where either like Sark gets in his bag in the second half, like once he makes adjustments. Like I've said on this show, I think he's the best. He's probably the best at making adjustments in the second half than any other coach in the country. And so I'm afraid that they kind of figure things out in the second half, or Florida just rolls over and dies, where it's like it seems like they're close to doing anyway, just because of like their coach is probably getting fired. They're probably going to go 1-4 after this week. So it's just one of those situations where I think I would rather play the first half under than the full game under.
I'm refereeing here. I apologize.
You're fine.
We have a new rescue from Texas, and they've been great. We got her on Monday. The Fenway is, I don't know what Fenway's up to. I apologize there. No, you can fine. Carry on.
Just 2 more to go. We already spoke about the Bama team total. Akron, this offense is brutal. 17.5 is their highest team total of the year. So I think the book just set it too high. That was kind of shocking. So give me that under there. Penn State, I have 25.5. It's down to 24.5. I don't get why the market's moving that way. I think this is one of those where you mentioned it. James Franklin absolutely blows out the teams he's supposed to blow out. And I think UCLA has fired everybody under the sun that's on their coaching staff. I don't see this being competitive at all. I think this is where Penn State absolutely takes out some of those demons from last week, and I think they roll them. Like this is one of those where it's like you talk about alt lines, possibly that some books are giving. I know DK gives it a lot, where it's like I think Penn State might win this one by 40 or 50, because I don't see how UCLA gets in double digits, to be honest. And then last one, Oklahoma, huge number, -45.5. I think probably the biggest number I've laid all year. I had a 42.5 earlier this season. 45.5 is probably the biggest. Kent State is awful. If they're not the worst team in FBS, they're the second worst. And also what I like about this more, with their quarterback being out, they are going to, with Hawkins, they're going to try to figure some stuff out offensively, and kind of works with them. They got the Red River Shootout coming up next week. Normally, this would have been a look ahead spot, for Oklahoma if everybody's healthy. That turned into not the case. Now that Hawkins is having to play quarterback, I think what they're going to do is you'll get a full 3 quarters of him just trying to figure out everything on offense and make sure they are fully ready for next week. And even with their backups in the fourth quarter, Kent State's backups aren't as good as probably some of the students in Oklahoma student section. So I will give me Oklahoma here. I think when the starters come out, it's somewhere around like 45-3 or 52-3. And I don't see how Kent State scores. And then I think, like I said, I think Oklahoma keeps the foot on the pedal here moving forward. So I think, 45.5 is just, I think this is going to look more like 70-3 or 63-3 type of game.
Well, the funny thing is, you're going to laugh at this one. Let me pull it up here. Oklahoma. Where are we here? Come on, Ice. Don't do this to me. I got 3 sources. Kent State team total over 2.5 minus 145. Kent State team total over 3.5 under minus 165.
Three. Like I said, 3. They're spot on.
So they really got 49.5. They got 48 or 49-3 is the final there. So again, tricky spot with Texas coming up, but we know obviously. Yeah.
Florida State beat them 66-10. Texas Tech beat them 62-14. And also all of Texas Tech, I think all 14 points came in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I just think this is. Do not watch this one. Just check it. Check your bank account afterwards.
Again, Knicks NCAAF Nuggets for Week 6. Delaware minus 2.5. New Mexico team total over 27.5. Both those games tonight. Air Force team total over 19.5. Cincy minus 1.5 against Iowa State. Moneyline parlay, Illinois, Texas. Penn State minus 25.5 as they travel to UCLA, Alabama team total over 33.5 as they face Vanderbilt and Mr. Diego. Akron team total under the 17.5. Texas, Florida under 21.5 first half, and Oklahoma minus 45.5 against Kent State. Scroller's been going the whole time, sir. Everyone knows to follow you, of course, at Hathcoat 413 at Insiders FB. But as we always wrap it up, tell them what they can find.
Yeah, on Insiders FB, you get all of us insiders, all of our plays for the weekend. So that's me, Matt, Q, Smitty. So all of our college football plays are free leading into college baseball season. We've all been pretty good this year. I know Matt and Q both had New Mexico State last night. So they both hit those. Matt had, I believe, +3 or +3.5, and Q had them on the money line at +110. So they both hit completely free plays. In Hathcoat 413 is where I'm posting all of my. So I normally don't post my MLB plays on Twitter, but I decided to for the playoffs. Obviously 15-1. Crazy start. Obviously, they're like I've been doing it throughout the season on Action Network. Is where you usually find my MLB plays. But I decided, like I said, I'll post them on Twitter for the whole playoffs. Hopefully, we stay hot. Also follow us on our Discord. It's the exact same Discord as we use for our college baseball insiders and everything like that. And I guess some news, and I guess might as well say it on here for NCAA insiders. Since the schedules got announced, I believe me and Q both will be in Dallas week 2 of the college baseball season for the tournament in Arlington, Tennessee, Arizona State, Mississippi State. Like there's some great teams there. So we will be there. Hopefully some other fans will be there as well. I know we'll be covering that. I believe that's the same weekend that Matt will be in Vegas, or he's in Vegas the weekend after. So we got a lot of things scheduled this year. It's going to be much like we did last college baseball season big. We're going to do it even bigger this year. We will be traveling a lot more and on locations a lot more. So we're all looking forward to it.
Well, we can't wait. Matt comes on Thursdays with us talking SEC and his Westgate Superbook contest card. We have you on Friday at 11 a.m. as we, in less than a month, will be, back to basketball as well. NCAA basketball
Yeah.
coming. So again, it's a busy time of year as we wait for your preview in college baseball, of course, in the start of 2026, and we do our usual shows. Last year we did a midweek show, of course, throughout the week, throughout the season in college baseball, and of course on Friday. So great job. Proud of you guys.
Yeah. Going well. It's going well for sure.
From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, the one and only Nick Hathcoat at Hathcoat413 and at Insiders FB. We wish everyone a blessed day. The weekend's here. No baseball tonight. Baseball starts up round number 2 tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, throughout the week. College football tonight and tomorrow. And, of course, the NFL on Sunday and Monday. And don't forget another early game on Sunday, as in London this week, Minnesota -3.5 against the Cleveland Browns. And yes, your 2 starting quarterbacks, Carson Wentz and Dylan Gabriel. So just grab an espresso, grab a bagel, and just leave that game alone. So guys, behave, stay in your lanes, and stay tuned.